Hello, members of Spiritual and Cryptid Encounters. We are live here on YouTube. How's everybody doing this afternoon? I'm just here to tell you, brothers and sisters, that it is very important to always maintain a love foundation. Uh, this is my first time recording here on YouTube. I just want to say sometimes when people come up against you to stop a mission that you're trying to do because you're following spiritual orders from a higher echelon, no matter how much negativity comes your way, obstacle after obstacle, trials and tribulations, the Heavenly Father always finds a way. So, in saying that, brothers and sisters, the journey here for me on trying to get here on YouTube to do a live has been a lot of ups and downs. From first having positive spiritualists, I was stopped from doing what I'm doing right now because my Facebook got permanently deleted. Uh, and again, certain things, certain forces, right? Certain people were coming up against me in a spiritual way through trolling, reporting my accounts, and doing all kinds of things through Facebook. I'm just here to tell y'all that I prayed last night and the Heavenly Father showed me some things. And I had to rebuke the things that I was being shown because the things that I was being shown was not good. You could say it's a form of seeing things that are to come in the future with spiritual gifts of discernment. So I have been contemplating what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to stop what I'm doing because certain people, kept on reporting my Facebook channel in which there's stipulations there now. And I said, you know what? I don't really need to post in groups, so I'll just focus on my group, Spiritual Encrypted Encounters on Facebook, Spiritual Encrypted Encounters here on YouTube. And I was like, Heavenly Father, how am I going to do it? If people ever come against me and put a roadblock on my Spiritual Encrypted Encounters on Facebook. I have other avenues that I could have gone through, but now that I was like, I went to sleep, I woke up, and when I woke up, I said, well, let me see what Facebook can do for me, So I got on here, and here I am, going live here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters on YouTube, y'all. How is that possible? How is that possible? How is that possible? The only one that can make that happen the way it is in my situation right now is through Jesus Christ. I believe 100% He is behind this. Of what I've been doing, brothers and sisters, for whoever's here viewing or going to view this video, is I am who I say I am. I'm a spiritual warrior. For those I'm going to do a little introduction of myself for the viewers, whoever's going to view this video here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters on YouTube. And if this works good, I'm thinking about start doing lives here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters with guests. I'm going to introduce myself to y'all. My name is Abram Cias. My friends call me Abe Cias. That's what I'm under on Facebook, Abe Cias, and my group that I've created is Spiritual Encrypted Encounters here on YouTube and on Facebook. I've been a spiritual warrior all my life since I was a kid. Uh, I've come out on podcasts and TV shows, on episodes of TV shows, but I just want to talk to you all about who I am, why I created this group, Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. How you doing, Sister Deborah Mosley? How you doing? This is my first ever, my first ever video. I'm just introducing myself to whoever's going to view this video. Um, my journey of the balance. Uh, I witnessed it all my life since I was a kid. Ever since I can remember, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna go way deep. Ever since I can remember when I was born into this world, there was always something coming up against me negative, trying to take me out of this world. I'll give you an example of that. I would always have this recurring dream where I was being suffocated by something. And I would pray to God, but show me what is making me have this dream. Show me what's the cause of this. And he showed me what the cause of that was. It was a pillow that was being placed on my face that was trying to suffocate me. And as I continued to pray, I was showed who was doing it. I forgave that individual. Um, then I witnessed individuals from the balance coming to my household when I was a kid, calling for them to give me up because they wanted to take me. But the head of the household didn't give into that, right? After that, I remember going to Mexico because my older brother, 2 years older than me, was it was in those times in the 70s, like early like 71, 72, where he had high fevers and he was hallucinating. He was seeing snakes, spiders, and all kinds of things, brothers and sisters. That he had high fevers of 100, 103, 104. Took him to different doctors in the U.S. and said they couldn't find a cure for him, that he wasn't going to live that long because of the high fevers, that if he lived, that he wasn't going to be all up here because of the high fevers. Uh, so, uh, through sources, we were notified, right, that there was a spiritual woman in Mexico. In Mexico, that was in Spanish, it's called a curandera, which is a medicine woman. This medicine woman was old. She's been doing spiritual works all her life. I believe she's already in her 90s. Uh, the deal was this, that if she healed my brother, that I would have to stay with her for about 6 months, as far as I know. All I remember is when we went there to, uh, it's called in Tamaulipas, Reynosa, Mexico. It was along the borders in Mexico. This medicine woman had her hut had a floor of dirt, and in one of the rooms that she had, because she had two rooms, she had a hole in the ground where she would burn a fire. So I remember when she took my brother there, and she had an egg, and it's called in Spanish it's called curando de ojo. But what the reason they use the egg is because the egg is a living. It's still something living in there. It's kind of like grabbing the egg from a chicken before it hatches, right? So the thing is, if somebody has something bad upon them, an unclean spirit, or if somebody has done a hex on somebody, right? Whatever in Spanish is called maldad, which means the wrongdoing, gets transferred into that egg. So as she was trying to heal, as she was healing my brother, she was doing signs of the cross from head to toe. My brother had his arm, because he would fall a lot from the high fevers. His arm was messed up, his leg was messed up, his left leg and his arm were messed up. And as she started healing him, I remember, brothers and sisters, that she cracked the egg. And when she cracked the egg, there was a little black bird that came out with a broken wing and a broken leg. When that happened, the maldad, the wrongdoing, got transferred into the little bird that got cracked, the little bird that came out, in which my brother got healed. Whatever was wrong with them wasn't there no more. So after doing the spiritual work she did with my brother, uh, she was so good spiritually that she even notified my mother of who did the wrongdoing to my brother, the source, right? Spiritually, she knew who it did the spell. There used to be there was a lot of witchcraft and stuff like that down in South Texas. It still is. It's pretty hot and heavy in South Texas. But I will witness, a lot of spiritual battles. But going to the story, brothers and sisters, I stayed with this medicine woman. When my brother and my mother left, I stayed with her. I remember I was crying, but I stayed with this medicine woman that had a lot of wisdom and knowledge because she would fight the balance, right? Fighting the fight. Um, Let me see. Let me see what Sister Deborah Monsley says. Yeah, thank you, Sister Deborah Monsley. Yes, he got healed. When they left to the States, I stayed with the medicine woman, right? So I remember she would make me refried beans, which we call frijoles fritos in Spanish, and she would make uh, homemade corn tortillas out of scratch, and that's the meal that I would eat all the time was beans and corn tortillas. That's what she would feed me, beans and corn tortillas. I don't remember ever eating like any kind of meat or nothing. It was all natural. It was just beans and refried tortillas. That's what I remember eating when I was there with her. We would eat that a lot. I will witness when she would bring in uh, the people that were being spiritually afflicted, in which there would be sometimes a line of people waiting for them to be healed that were come from all parts, different region of Mexico. That's how strong of a medicine woman she was, that she would cure a lot of people that had ailments. I witnessed her heal numerous people where she would put them on a little table like an altar, and she'd go there and use her spirit to go into the people because they would tell her where they were hurting, they would tell her what was happening, and she would heal them spiritually. Where she would go to the areas that they were being afflicted, where there was a pain on their side or their head, shoulder, back, wherever they were feeling something, she would use her spirit. And whatever was afflicting them, she would cast them out of them, brothers and sisters, where I will witness what I call the disembodied demonic Nephilim right now, because that's how I know them as. Then, I will call them, as a kid, I will call them bulto negro, which means dark shadow. Dark shadow. We all seen those dark shadows, right? You all, I've heard a lot of people saying that the wind is shadows and shadows. Shadows. Well, those are called disembodied spirits, brothers and sisters. I call them disembodied demonic Nephilim. That's what I call them. But they are demonic of nature. Well, I will witness this shadow figures or DDN, whatever you want to call them, leave the individual's body when she's praying over them. Sometimes they'll come out in one, twos, threes, fours, and numbers because they come in many, right? So when I would see the shadows leaving the hut, she would look at me and she would ask me, "Are they gone? Are they gone?" And I would just point where they're going out of the hut, out of her little home. I was pointing where they were leaving. I guess I was her spiritual eye. Since I was a kid, I was only 2. When we say we're children of God, we're children of the light. It's because we are, brothers and sisters. And sometimes what happens, there's a lot of, let me see the comments here. Yes, brothers and sisters, Sister Debbie, I remember being there for a while. When you're a kid, you don't know how to look at the calendar to know how many days are there or anything like that. All I know is I remember being there for a while. One of the things that I remember, there was always this kid, bigger kid than me, and he's always telling me stuff, saying that he was there in that area to do the opposite of what I was doing. This kid that was there was an older kid, or it could have been something demonic impersonating a kid, and he was telling me that he was there in that area because he wasn't affiliated with a medicine woman, but he was there because he wanted power. He wanted money, and that's what he was. How should I say? Going for, and he was dressed all in black. I was always running into him. He was always trying to get me to look at things differently in the spiritual aspect. Even though I was two, I remember the conversations I had as an individual. You could say I might have been two, but my spirit was strong spiritually. But I'm gonna take my love foundation. Even then, when I was a kid, I remember, you know, I'm gonna give you an example of the people that got healed by her. For example, she would go to where somebody said because they said they had bad headaches, and she would pull out scorpions. I seen her pull out snakes. I seen her pull out pieces of barbed wire, pieces of glass out of people. She would pull out sometimes even little bags where somebody had done a hex on them. And one of the things she would do is, like I said before, give them the names of the people that did them the wrong. And she would put protection on spiritual protection on the individuals she will heal. Uh, I remember going to the markets in Mexico where I would see the people run away from her. And she wore white, like in the times of Pancho Villa, and she had bullets. And she had a patch in her eye because she was missing an eye. She had a little limp because I guess she had gotten shot by a bullet on her hip when she was, I guess, out there in combat, healing the soldiers that were getting injured. All I remember is this: that the people were running away from her, like they had fear of her. I'm thinking there were more. I believe the people that were running away from her wasn't was the people that had some kind of bondage over them, right? Were, I should say, being bonded or possibly possessed. That they know that she had the ability to cast out the unclean spirit out of them. So the unclean spirit that had the person bonded would take off running because they knew what her capabilities were spiritually. Uh, I remember when they were running away from her in the market, and she looked at me and she said, "This is a question she asked me: how come everybody runs away from me and you don't?" And and I said, "I love you." I was two, but I knew about love. And then she pulled her eye patch out and showed me that she didn't have an eye, and she said, "Are you afraid now?" And I told her the same thing. "I love you." And then she gave me a hug. She gave me a hug when I told her I love you. And it's kind of like after that, after helping out people, I noticed that for those who don't believe in the spiritual aspect, that want to take the spiritual aspect. I mean, well, I'm here to represent the spiritual aspect because I know that it exists because I've witnessed it. So I'm here to tell you when they talk about the balance of good and evil, well, that exists because I witnessed it. She was doing good works, uh, healing people through her spiritual works. While she was doing that, the other side of the balance, you want to call them the yang, you want to call them the dark side, the dark witches, they were surface up. They were surface up where she lived, where they would come in numbers 10 strong, 15 strong, dressed all in black, whether they're in the form of witches and they're dressed in black, or if they were in form of lechuzas, novels, they would take those forms. And I remember what they would tell her. They would tell her to stop doing helping out people that they do hexes to, that they're doing wrong to stop doing that, right? So she will fight the good fight. That's the work that she would do. The only thing that I cannot remember, brothers and sisters, is this: her name, because it's been, I was only two, but I know that she had a good heart and she was doing the good works. I but I will witness where they will show up and threaten her. No difference than the people that I encounter, whereas people I encounter out in the public that have an unclean spirit and they come and send a spiritual message to me. So I pray against them. I tie back and rebuke it and cast it away out of them. The person becomes normal because when a person is being bonded, they don't know what they're doing. No difference than when I was on Facebook. There's a lot of people that are coming up against me in a negative way daily. But here I am doing a live because the Heavenly Father's making it happen. All these things here, I've been through trials and tribulations all my life, but I am making this live. So to continue the story of the curandera, which is a medicine woman, I remember when my mother showed up. I was out using an outdoor latrine, right, an outhouse, and as I came out of the outhouse, I heard a woman calling my name. It was a while I was there. I can't, like I said, I cannot remember how long. And I looked at the woman that I didn't even recognize my own mother. So I have been there for a while, brothers and sisters. She was crying, and then we went inside, and the medicine was there, and she said she was there to pick me up and all this stuff. And the medicine woman, we had formed a spiritual bond of love, and she told me I could stay there with her and that she would take care of me and all this. But my mother said no. I'm at the end of the deal. Let me take my son home with me. So that's the way it stayed. What happened is when I came back to the States, because this what she told my mother, that I was spiritually blessed, that the God was going to anoint me to do the good works, that people might not understand, but he was going to bless me to be able to do these works. So since I was young, when I came back to the States, I noticed that I was in the same. I never knew who I was because I was so young. So as I grew, I started noticing a lot of things that might not happen to regular people, in which I would see, literally, I could see what's within a person spiritually. I remember I was walking down the street, going to the store, and I seen this man standing by his doorway, the entrance of his home, and he's looking at me, and I could see the demon in the individual, where it's moving around in the individual. Now I know what to do. I just didn't know then when I was a kid. What I didn't know that I had the ability to tie binary rebuke in Jesus Christ's name, to cast that out of that individual. But as I continued to grow spiritually, I noticed that I had that ability. So, fighting spiritually I've been doing that all my life, because when I came back from Mexico to the States, I've never been the same, in which I'm able to see what's beyond. The veil is lifted, that I can see actually what's around an individual. I can see spiritually. I can tell if somebody's being spiritually bonded, in which I can assist that individual. I can go to a home and see if there's an unclean spirit in there, because they'll reveal themselves to me. You could say just like the Legion revealed themselves to Jesus Christ when they had the man possessed. I have that ability. It's an ability that I've had for a long time. And sometimes when I use the ability of getting rid of the unclean spirit or a person that might be bonded or possessed, it's kind of like a one-on-one thing, where it's like a bubble of time where there's no time. And it's kind of like a spiritual battle in which you have to do what you have to do to assist the person that is being spiritually bonded. And other people are not going to be able to witness this because they're not to that level to be able to do that. So it happens. It happens to me a lot. Whether I'm at a restaurant eating, I could be at a restaurant eating, brothers and sisters, and I haven't even taken the first bite of food, right? Next thing you know, I could see somebody sitting right in front of me, which I wasn't there, and they're sitting there, and their eyes are rolled back white, which that's letting me know there's an individual that's sitting there has a you could say an unclean spirit in them. So when I'm going to rebuke them in Jesus Christ's name, they take off because what's there is it doesn't scare me because I'm used to it. I'm used to seeing this thing. So the fear factor is out of the equation for me because I've dealt with this all my life that the fear is out of the question. That's what I try to tell people. People ask me, "Are you afraid? Are you afraid?" When you're used to it, because it's been like this all your life, it becomes part of you. It's first a nature. So I know how to react to the situation. Yes. So this has been with me all my life, brothers and sisters. This is why I created Spiritual and Cryptid Encounters. Uh, Man, I went from positive spiritualist. People targeted me because they don't want me to bring the spiritual aspect into the community, into paranormal communities. They don't want me to bring the spiritual aspect into cryptic communities. They don't want me to bring the spiritual aspect into alien communities. I'm just here sharing my wisdom and knowledge of who I am, what I've been through in my life, that I can explain to you why a lot of these groups don't want this. You know, Paranormal community, they don't want people to get enlightened, uh, to know that when you fear, that's a spiritual opening. Cryptic community, when you believe in something, that's a spiritual opening, especially if what's pretending to be something that they ain't, right? Like a Bigfoot, a dogman, a ghost, an apparition. And if it's demonic in nature, you're fearing it, you're believing in it, then that's a spiritual opening it uses to attach itself to you, right? So it can find an entryway into your love foundation, into your body. Then it is able to go into your home through you because you're allowing it through the belief factor, through the fear factor. You allow it to go follow you into your home, and activity starts happening in your household. Yes, sister. Um, the spiritual auras, but you can sense when somebody has an unclean spirit in them. Trust me, it took me a long time. This is my first video. It took me a long time to get here because people that were pretending to be my friends, they really wasn't my friends. They were stopping me from trying to better myself, to be able to spread the good word, right? They were stopping me, trying to hold me back, pretending to be my friends, at the same time backstabbing me, right? Through trying to stop my groups to grow, or put in trying to flag me a certain way in which I wasn't able to post in groups. I prayed last night, and here I am. Look, I'm here to tell y'all, for those that came up against me in a spiritual way, that been coming up against me in a spiritual way all this time, pretending to be my friends, here I am on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters on YouTube. And I got some big things happening that I want to bring people that I know of, that know of who I am, and that know of the things that I've experienced and they've experienced because they've been there. That's what I want to do. I want to bring the spiritual aspect so people can understand that it's 100% real. There's a lot of things that are man-made that's to distract us from the spiritual real. Right? We got Super Bowl games. We got all these things that are placed by the unseen forces to prevent us from having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Right? That prevent us to go into prayer because they got so much things to do in this world, right? That it stops us because it's trying to mislead us into awakening spiritually. That's the main thing. They don't want us us to unite. They don't want us to awaken spiritually, to help out one another spiritually. That's why there's so many things set in our world to mislead us, to misdirect us from our true calling. Listen to me, y'all. We are we are all children of God. We're created under His image, and we all have the opportunity to make it into the kingdom of heaven. How many of y'all have unforgiveness? That somebody's come up against you a certain way and you can't let it go. You say you forgive, but you can't let it go. So when you can't let it go, it's not truly forgiven through Jesus Christ. The reason it's important to forgive, brothers and sisters, we all know about generational curses. How do generational curses happen? They jump from generation to generation because of spiritual openings. Unforgiveness is one of them. Hatred, anger, and the negative seeds that they planted to jump from generation to generation. Somebody has to make a spiritual stance eventually, right? Well, I'm just here to tell you that forgiveness is part of love. And do you all remember when Jesus Christ was being crucified and he prayed to the Heavenly Father to say, forgive these people, they don't know what they do. It's because those people that are around there were being spiritually bonded, spiritually possessed, you name it. That's why they didn't know what they were doing, because there was other forces that had taken over the host or the vessels of those individuals to cause the chaos and havoc because of the spiritual openings that they had, which most likely was anger. Maybe that you were used to doing that to a lot of people. So it became a trend for them to be able to do those things in which they just focused on doing evil things. And those are spiritual openings. This is unseen demonic forces we use, right? Well, in that nature, brothers and sisters, we have to forgive, because once we forgive those that have come up against us in a negative way, all the spiritual, generational curses, anything bad, we cut those negative ties. We cut those negative ties in which they have no jurisdiction over us anymore. Since we sever those negative ties, they have no jurisdiction over us, because forgiveness is part of love, in which when we forgive truly, 100%, the Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, loves us, because that's what He's about. He blesses us with the spiritual gifts of discernment. You're like, Abe, what are the spiritual gifts of discernment? I'm telling you, I've been in there, brothers and sisters, where I had unforgiveness and my heart didn't feel well. It felt like I had a black heart because I couldn't let go of all the negative things that had come up against me. But when I truly forgave those individuals that come up against me in a negative way, the feeling of it felt like I felt lighter. I felt like a big burden got taken off of me. And I felt for the first time ever in my life, I felt the true heavenly love. I felt what a love foundation is, and I felt the presence of the Heavenly Father around me, where He blessed me with the spiritual gift of discernment, which is an awesome feeling, brothers and sisters. Being free from bondage, spiritual bondage. You know, we know that back in the day there was a lot of bondage to slavery, but this is a different kind of bondage. It's the unseen slavery. Is the unseen slavery bondage of demonic forces that bond people, should I say, family members from generation to generation, because they don't want them to awaken spiritually, to have a relationship with Jesus Christ, in which If they do not awaken, then it's a win-win situation for them because that individual is not going to change. They're going to feel a certain way. They don't know how to have a relationship with a heavenly Father because they're being bonded. So it's a win-win situation for them, right? Because that's exactly what I do. I tell you what, when I forgave and I felt the spiritual gift of discernment, uh, oh man, they came at me harder. They came in numbers because they didn't want us. They didn't want to let me go from the bondage, so they came at me harder. But by then it was too late because I had the spiritual gifts of discernment blessed to me to be able to take authority over them, tie, bind, and rebuke them in Jesus Christ's name, and send them away. In which some of them flee super fast, like you could say, like a spirit fast, or faster than the speed of light. Some of them disappeared in vapor form, which they left a sulfur smell or a pestilence smell. That's when I knew, well, that Jesus Christ was with me, brothers and sisters. That's what I do. This works. Let me see some of the questions here. The devil doesn't want us to search for Jesus, so he keeps the distractions coming on stop. Not yet. Yes, very true, Sister Debbie. We got Sister Deborah Mosley. Glad I know how to stop my generator with me. And you're right. Forgiveness is the only way to stop it. Exactly. I tell people, I always maintain a love foundation. You know, always, because you don't know how the enemy is going to try to come at us spiritually. It's just we have to be spiritual ready at all times. In order for us to be spiritual ready at all times, we have to have maintain a love foundation. Matter of fact, right now here in Spiritually Cryptid Encounters, I'm going to say it like this. For anybody over the past couple of years that's come up against me in a negative way, I forgive you. At the same time, look at me right now, making a spiritual life here on YouTube. I forgive you, and I'm going to continue to do the works that I do through Jesus Christ, because that's the way. I'm going to continue to do my spiritual works. It's kind of like this has been like a roller coaster ride for me all my life, where people come at me in a negative way. I've faced witches, warlocks, people that were apprenticed, or should I say affiliated witches and warlocks, that come up against me in a spiritual way all my life. I was able to overcome them spiritually. When you overcome something spiritually, basically with a love foundation, and when you forgive and you have the spiritual gift of discernment, people can say whatever they want to say, come out of their mouth, but you don't accept that negativity. You keep the negativity away from your foundation. That's what I do. They can say anything to me. They can come at me in a negative way, trying to prevent me from growing, my groups from growing, but it's not going to stop me from doing my spiritual work, because I don't allow that negativity around me. So sometimes those individuals that come at you in a negative way, I cannot help them. I cannot help them if they don't want to awaken. I cannot help them if I pray for them, because they've already chosen where they want to be because of the works that they do. If they're doing wicked works, that's what the works that they're doing. That's what they're choosing. So there's nothing I can do for them, because it's a personal decision how somebody wants to be. The only thing I can do is give my spiritual wisdom and knowledge to those that want to listen, that want to awaken. That's my mission. That's been my mission, is trying to awaken all my brothers and sisters spiritually to be ready for the unseen spiritual war that's at hand. The unseen spiritual war that's at hand has been here for a long time. It's been happening for a long time. As far as I can remember, since I was 2 or younger, I've seen it all my life. So that unseen spiritual war is very real. It's just, what are you going to do about it to be able to fight the good fight? Are you going to allow negativity to control you? Or are you going to allow these unclean forces to have something over you? What are you going to do? Are you going to finally awaken. But the first big step to awaken is to forgive. Or you want to stay spiritually bonded by the unseen forces? It's a personal decision, but I know it's within you because somewhere within you, there's people that tell me, well, I'm pure evil. So I'm listening to when they say they're pure evil. So look, if you have a loved one, a child or a brother and sisters, and you love them, you celebrate, rejoice at birthdays or something in the nature, you have love in your heart. It's the unseen forces that's trying to make you think that you have no love because that's how they work. They don't want to bond you. Uh, Another thing, it's like this. The way they attack brothers and sisters is through your senses. They can attack through your tear ducts. When you see somebody crying in front of you and they're real close to you and they're crying for no reason, well, that's the demons trying to transfer themselves to you through the tear ducts. They can attack through the ears, through the nostrils, through the mouth, and through uh, your private organs, where we urinate or we do the number two. They can attack that nature. The succubus and the incubus, they like attacking through there. When you hear about people being attacked by a succubus and incubus, and they have this bad dreams of being, how should I say, sexually targeted by the succubus and incubus. That's how they attack. Uh, but I'm just letting you know that those are the openings that they attack, and the only way those openings you're gonna be able to protect those spiritual sense openings is by maintaining a love foundation. That's the only way you're gonna be able to overcome the spiritual onslaught or the spiritual attacks of the unseen. I know I haven't made a video in a while, brothers and sisters. I haven't gone to the field. The reason I haven't gone to the field, how you doing, brother Mike Martinez? Yes, brother Mike Martinez. I always have when I go and do investigations, I pray before I go somewhere. I If I'm out there and activity picks up around me, I pray, and even when I leave, I pray for nothing to follow me home. But this is something that I do daily. I have. If a bad thought tries to come into my mind, I know that's not me thinking it. It's something trying to. We have the ability to bless people, and we have the ability to curse people. So if you have a thought of somebody being healed, that's a good thing, right? You say Amen, Jesus, and you pray for that individual to be healed. If a bad thought comes into your mind of somebody getting seriously injured or something happened to somebody, what you do is you tie bind and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name, because that's not you. There's something trying to use you as a vessel to do bad works. So you're rebuking in Jesus Christ's name. That's what you do. A bad thought comes into your mind, you rebuke it, because it's trying to. These unseen forces that I call the disembodied demonic Nephilim, you want to call them legion, demons, they don't have a body. They're here amongst us in disembodied form, which means spirit form. So that's how they attack. They attack with people with spiritual openings, whether it be through belief factor, through fear factor, whether they have a habit of drugs, of drinking, or whatever the case might be. Those are the opens it uses to use people in a negative way. That it uses their weakness. It tries to get them when they're sick. They come at them when they're sick. They don't care. And that way, through the belief factor, what they do is they manifest. Within the cryptid community, they manifest. What people want to call a Bigfoot. You hear about Dogman. You hear about Mothman. You hear about all these cryptids, right? That supposedly exist, but there's no evidence of a body of a cryptid being found, right? Bigfoot has been here for supposedly a long time. There's no body of a Bigfoot. The only thing that we witnessed throughout the years, nothing but hoaxes. But I'm not saying that they're not witnessing something, but I believe what they're witnessing is the disembodied demon and Nephilim, the Legion, whatever you want to call them, demons, that they have the capability to manifest, whether it's temporarily, to manifest to look into a beastly figure. Uh, there you hear where people are shooting at a Bigfoot, shooting a dogman, but there's no body. They're like, well, we don't know what happened. I think something carried them away. Or there are people that say they shoot them and bullets are going right through them. That's telling you right there by itself. It's because they're not here in the flesh. They're here in disembodied form. Angels, back in the day, who manifest to be looking like humans. And they were here to warn people of the things that were to come. The people that were good people, I believe they were warned. Sodom and Gomorrah is one of them, where the angels told them that to leave because things were going to happen to get as many people to leave Sodom and Gomorrah. A lot of people didn't want to listen. And what happened? A lot of people got destroyed. But the angels were able to manifest to look like humans temporarily to be able to get people into safety. Well, in that sense of a way, brothers and sisters. See what else we got here. That's right, Brother Mike Martinez. They do not have any kind of power at all when you place Jesus Christ first. That, amen, brother. Sister Deborah Mosley, I have to go, but it was nice to be here with you. Take care. Thanks, and chat later. You're very welcome, Sister Deborah, for being here. I really appreciate you. This is just a video that I'm making in the blue for whoever views it. You know, it's for the public. Look, I have nothing against nobody in any kind of sensible way. The only thing I ask is this, is let me do my spiritual works of what I do spiritually. This has been my calling all my life, you know, and I'm going to continue. Brother Mike Martinez, if it's Mike Martinez from the military, if it's you, brother, the Mike Martinez that I know of, you know that what I'm saying is true because we had something that happened. If it's you, Brother Mike Martinez, give me the thumbs up. If it's you, Brother Mike, give me a thumbs up. Because you remember what happened. You know, if it's you, if the same Mike Martinez that served with me in Bravo 213, and at that time I think it was 132 Armor. If it's you, and then he changed over to 212 Cav. If it's you, give me a thumbs up. But you remember something that happened in which I was placed in a situation where I wasn't even in the company no more. I was working for the range. I was there with my NCOIC, and a certain thing happened in which I was placed there spiritually to assist you from a situation happening. In which, thank God, that nothing happened, but something could have happened if you wouldn't have moved out of the way in front of that 50 cal. I thank God, man, that I just followed my spiritual. I was told spiritually to go over there for a reason. It's kind of like I was seeing y'all, but I was told spiritually to go over there. Yes, Brother Mike was the fastest loader on the M1 Abrams tank that I knew of. This guy, man, he would go down range. You just hear boom, 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 boom. Like he was loading those rounds super fast because you have to load them into the chamber, in the gun chamber. He was like super fast. You know, he had the long reach. Yeah, he's a pretty tall guy. That all he was doing just grab and just, you know, compared to the guys that had the short arms, we have to do all kinds of movement just to get the round, the heat round or the saber round in the chamber. But Brother Mike, he didn't have to do that. He would just hit the button and just sling it in there. But yeah, I remember working the tower, and the sergeant major was like, "Who is that? Who is that? Who's loading the tank?" The colonel was there, and he's like, "I want that person on my tank. I want them to load my tank." And I said, "Well, sir, I think it's a little bit too late for that because it's fixing an ATS out of the military. And I said, that's Mike Martinez. You know, I know who he is. He wanted you to look for him, and it's like, oh man, he's like, I could have used him in my tank. You know, uh, but yes, I follow my spiritual instincts. You know, Mike, what happened when I was there in Bravo? That they took me out of the tanks. They separated us because it set us up for failure. Where we went to Alabama, Camp Shelby, to train the National Guard. And when we come back, there's all kinds of rounds on the tank. That somebody placed those rounds in the tank. We know we cleared the range from the rounds. So I found out later on who did that. Uh, Sergeant First Class Harris told me who did it. It was them, the guys that boloed from that gunnery. You remember we went to gunnery, and straight out of gunnery, they said, "Don't unpack your bags." They sent us to Camp Shelby. Uh, I found out that it was a tank that boloed from Delta Company that placed all those rounds in our tank because it was the closest tank to the edge. So they placed all those rounds in our tank. And just didn't want to say nothing. All those NCOs involved in that didn't want to say nothing because they didn't want to get in trouble. So we got separated, and freaking the our lieutenant got dismissed from the military because of that. But you know what? Life goes on, right? You know, I remember working for S3 for about a good year, center of operations, in which no, what people don't understand, Mike understands. You know, maybe we ought to do a live one day, Mike, here in Spiritual and Cryptid Encounters, so you can share some of the things that you witnessed in the military. I know there was a lot of activity out there on the ranges where I could see these things moving out there that didn't read a hate signature, but you could see the shadows moving out there. You know, I found out throughout the years, Mike, that a lot of Fort Hood, Killeen, Belton, all these areas that are around, that there was a lot of Indian burial grounds there. Up there towards Clabber Creek, there was a mountain range before Clabber Creek. It was an Indian burial ground that we wasn't allowed to be up there. So there was a lot of activity in that nature. You know, you want to talk about skinwalkers, Bigfoots, dogmen, the manifestations that they would take. They were out there. I would witness them. I know I would witness them through my sights where I'm trying to get a hit. I see something moving downrange, and I get a hit signature. I'm not getting a hit signature, but I'm seeing something moving. That we're doing gunnery late at night, like 3 in the morning, and we have to call range control because we're seeing something by the generators walking on twos. You know, so range control has to go downrange to investigate. You know what's out there. But we would see that a lot of that. You know, as tankers, we're combat veterans. We're the first to go if there's a war. We're the first ones to go with it's tankers, infantry. We're the first ones to go. As you see, I got my Desert Storm uh, hat here. Well, this is the first armor. I had I was on Operation Desert Storm. I got here's the Unicrest for out there for 135 armor, who I was with when I went to Operation Desert Storm. But yes, we've seen a lot of crazy things that people would understand, and when we're part of the government wants to keep us our mouth shut. They don't want us to say too much about a lot of things, you know. So we have to, we're fulfilling our contract, making an oath to serve our government. So there's certain things we can say and we cannot do. But one thing that we are is warriors. We're because we train offense and defense, and we're always ready. You know, when we're in the military, we was always ready to fight the good fight. But now it's different for me. You know, I still train, but it's more of a spiritual thing now because I found out through everything that I've been through in my life that the things that are unseen, we cannot fight physically. We cannot fight with anger. We cannot fight with unforgiveness. The only way we can fight this unseen forces, brothers and sisters, is through Jesus Christ. By placing Jesus Christ first. That's the only way we're going to be able to fight this unseen forces is through Jesus Christ. That we will become victorious through Him. Because it's not about an I thing. Because He's the one that blesses us with everything, with the spiritual gifts of discernment. You're welcome, Sister Debbie. Cawthra. Brother Mike Martinez, he was with me. He was with me in the. We were stationed on Fort Hood. We were in Bravo 213. Bravo 132 Armor. We were in Bravo 132 Armor. I was there for a little bit because the story that I told you what happened. They moved me to S3, where I worked the center of operations, and I witnessed some things. When people want to talk about Bigfoots, I used to drive a PC, and we had to set up the talk up on the mountain ranges, or big hills, right? Basically in Texas, because there are some mountain ranges, but we're set up on top of there. We have to get to the highest peak to set up the antennas to be able to see where all our troops are at, especially we're training on the offense. When I was doing that, I did that for about a year. I witnessed a lot of things out there. For example, there was one day I had the talk set up on that mountain range, and I was in charge of setting up the talk and keeping the generators running. So the colonels and the majors will come in. Then we have their cup of coffee. They had the maps of where everybody's set up, and it had lights in there. They would come in there. We had the heater on, keep it warm in there for them when it was cold out there. So I remember I was filling up the generator. I had a trick where I wouldn't shut off the generator to fill it up. I would just open it up and fill it up, check it that way, and open up the oil and put the oil in there. So it was raining hard, right? It was pouring. When I was filling the generator up with mole gas, rocks were falling around me. Big rocks were being thrown at me, and I'm like looking through the bushes and the woods because we're up there on the mountain range, and out there there's wildcats, there's cougars. We're around all that. They can see us, but we can't see them, right? Because I'm not out there with my night vision to seeing what's out there because I'm filling the generator. So as I'm out there, I'm seeing all these big old rocks landing around me, and I'm like, man, who's throwing these rocks at me? And I'm thinking that somebody is playing a prank on me, but it's pouring hard that I don't think somebody that works a day shift is going to get up from their sleep to mess with me that way, right? So I'm thinking it's my NCOIC. His name was Sergeant First Class Bowser. So I go in there after I fill it up and like, hey, why are you throwing the rocks at me? And he's like, what are you talking about? He doesn't even have his wet weather gear on. He's just in his BDUs. He's not wet or nothing, and he's drinking a cup of coffee. And I was telling him what happened, and he's like, oh, just your imagination, right? So the following day, when my night shift was up, I heard the Sergeant Major yelling. And I think his name was Sergeant Major, what was his name? Was it Nimitz? I can't remember his name on top of my head. But he was yelling. And he was cussing a storm. So I go over there to find out what's going on because I just finished my night shift. So I was tired. And sometimes I wouldn't get no sleep because if we had a jump talk, that means that we had to take down everything, put it up, move on to the next location, and then set up. So sometimes I wouldn't get no sleep during the night shift. Because as soon as we set up, it's like 4. I'll sleep for like 30, 40 minutes, and then I'm back to the night shift. So I wouldn't get no sleep. So I remember I went over there where the Sergeant Major was screaming. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Well, it was by their tent because they're like probably said like 100 feet away from where the location of the talk is, right? Because they're trying to stay away from the sound of the generator, so they can get sleep. So I go up to the tent where the troop tent is, right? Sergeant Major's pointing at something. I'm looking, and there's a big pile of manure or a poop by the tent. I've seen cow manure. I've seen the horse manure. This was bigger. And he's like, who's the sick person that did this? There's no way that was an individual that did that. I can tell you this right now. The only thing I know is since I was lower rank, I got stuck picking up that poop. I had to shovel it up with a big old shovel that I had and take it somewhere else, away from the tents. Something marked its territory. I wish I could have gotten a sample of that. At that time, I wasn't talking about Bigfoot, but something left that there. I've witnessed something in this nature before in the past when I was younger, where something surfaced up spiritually manifested itself, in which you could hear different kinds of animals outside our home, like elephants, horses. You could hear a whip, somebody yelling. You could hear a wagon. You could hear lions and different kinds of animal sounds. And the residue that was left behind was the same thing that I witnessed by that tent, because me and my brother had to shovel it up. It happened 2 days in a row that we shoveled it up, took it to the alley, dumped. We spent all day doing this. We put chains on the doors and locked everything up. Same thing happened the day after, and we had to spend the whole Sunday morning doing that, shoveling everything up again. It only happened twice, but I believe a portal was open, that something came through that portal and did that and left the residue. That's why when people ask me, do you think that demonic forces can do that? I'm going to tell you like this. Yes, if they're manifesting to be like a beastly creature, they're going to leave some kind of residue behind. But they have those capabilities. But I really appreciate everybody that's here. I'm going to start doing YouTube videos, brothers and sisters. All I can tell you is this: thank you, Jesus, because man, I've been fighting spiritually for a while now, all my life, but people be coming against me in a negative way all year long, whether they're my friends, not my friends. But I'm just here to let you know that where there's a will, there's a way. And when you play Jesus Christ first, he's going to make things happen for us. And here I am on Spiritual and Cryptid Encounters on YouTube, making this live. Yes, I'm thinking about mixing it up with the spiritual aspect and also the military aspect, because I have people that witnessed things out there when I was in the military that we have no answers for because of what we witnessed. So I want to make this Spiritual Encrypted Encounters kind of exciting. We're going to talk about a lot of things, especially the spiritual aspect of it. As y'all know, I've come out on some episodes. I've come out on This Woods Are Haunted, Season 3, Episode 2 on Hulu, on the Travel Channel, should I say. And I've done several podcasts, but I'm just here to assist anybody. This goes for anybody that views this video here on YouTube. I'm here to assist anybody spiritually that's going through something. I'm just here to tell you you're not alone. I'm here as a brother for anybody that wants my assistance spiritually. I'm extending an olive branch for those that might be going through something spiritually and need spiritual help. Whether you have an uninvited guest in your house, whether you feel that something is trying to attack you spiritually and bad thoughts are coming into your minds, whether you feel that they're causing you to have suicidal thoughts. I'm here to free people that are being spiritually bonded, spiritually possessed, or for anybody that needs spiritual assistance. This is what I'm here for, to assist y'all spiritually, to free you from the bondage and to awaken you spiritually. That's my main goal, brothers and sisters, here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Exactly, brother Mike Martinez. He's the one that died on the cross for us. He knew what he was doing. because that's one thing that people don't understand is that the spirit continues to live. He died with the love foundation. His spirit has a love foundation, right? His spirit it makes him strong spiritually. That's why I place here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters the title always maintain a love foundation, because that's the only way we're going to be able to fight unseen forces through a love foundation, just like our Heavenly Father Jesus Christ did with a love foundation. Uh, Sooner or later in life, right, we all have to cross over. But the love foundation, as you maintain it daily and you do the good works daily, that's going to help us cross over into the kingdom of heaven. That's going to guide us into the kingdom of heaven, because it's got to have the love foundation has to be strong, because it's like I said, unseen forces, they're trying to prevent us to make it into the kingdom of heaven. You know, there's people where they're giving up in life. That's the one which you have for the unseen forces. There's people that don't want to awaken and they're being bonded by the unseen forces. That's a win situation for the unseen forces. There's people that don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ. That's a win situation for the unseen forces. That's called being bonded, because it wants to keep people bonded. It doesn't want to know. It doesn't want to let the people know that they're really, truly a child of God. As we were born surely in other lights, we can enter back into the kingdom, into the heavenly kingdom, the same way we entered this world. We can enter the kingdom of heaven, but it's got to be done through a love foundation. That's the key. You know, when we're children, we're innocent, we're pure. There's no hatred. There's nothing evil, because we're pure. Well, that's the main goal that we're trying to accomplish, is to do the good works, because we want to ascend to make it into the kingdom of heaven, right? So if the Heavenly Father uses people as vessels, and I'm being used as a vessel to put in the good work and going into depth of the spiritual talk of the balance, I'm doing the works that I'm led to do. There's a lot of good things, right? When you have your structure of your family with a love foundation, you tell your loved ones, whether it's your wife, your husband, your children, I love you. You're raising them the right way by telling them I love you, because this is what we're supposed to do. Love is power, heavenly power, right? When you do things out of love, the acts out of love, is that love that they're learning, your next of kin especially, is gonna go on from generation to generation to generation. What we're trying to prevent by forgiving people is stop the cycle, stop the generational curses by breaking the negative tie, by forgiving, in which our next of kin, as we teach them love, we tell them to God bless you, we tell them that they run into a situation that's spiritual, to tie by the root in Jesus Christ's name. It'll cut any negative tie of anything unseen. It'll cut the jurisdiction that might have upon somebody, and that won't be able to affect our next of kin, because we're teaching them the right way of what to do to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. How you doing, Brother Gilbert Sutter? What's up? That's another brother right there, sir, with me in Bravo, in Bravo 212, I believe. Yeah, well, no, what was it? 132 Armor. One of those two. I think it was Bravo 132 when we were there, and then they changed the colors to 212 Cav. That's what happens. We were in 132, and then they changed the colors to 212 Cav. We train highly in the 1st Cav Division on Fort Hood, Texas. Brother Mike, the fastest loader in the Cav, and Brother Gilbert Zaragoza is always getting in trouble for some reason, but that's okay. He was always getting in trouble, but it's like there was always people coming up against them because they didn't want to get promoted. They didn't want him to advance. But that's the way it is sometimes in life, right? We get tested. You got tested numerous times, you know. Uh, but here we are. You know, what can break us, what cannot break us, is gonna make us. Is gonna make us stronger, right? But this is my brother in arms right here, man. They served with me there in 212 Cav. I'm more sure he's got some stories also. Brother Gilbert and brother Mike, they live there from San Antonio, Texas. I remember going down there with them and having some good times over there. I would go to Gilbert's house and go out there for the weekend. We were young, you know, we'd go out there dancing and stuff at this little bar called Something Different. Uh, we had some good times over there, a lot of good times. No, I would leave Colleen to go have fun in San Antonio. Then we come back to work, you know, during the week. But we had a lot of good times, you know. We were young. We were young and we were just having fun, you know. When you spend 10 months out of the year training, the little bit of fun that we got, you know, we're gonna make the best out of it, you know. We were training a lot when we were in the cab. I think when we go to the field, it'll be like 45 days out in the field without a shower run. So you had to do your own personal shower runs with your little bird bath just to keep your personal hygiene good. It was crazy, you know. They want to feed you like for T rats that says 1969 on the said 1969 1970 on the chicken breast that they're warming up, steaming up to feed you. You're like, whoa, and it's 2001. And you're like, whoa, that's a lot of years gone by. I wonder if that chicken's still good. But we would see a lot of that. I remember they had a T-rat with a sausage and egg, and I dropped some egg on the ground. As I dropped the egg on the ground, I seen ants eating the eggs. They came out of nowhere. You know, ants were eating the eggs. So I finished my food. When I'm walking back to throw the plate in the trash, all the ants were eating the egg and gets a piece of sausage that I threw down. They were all dead. So only God knows what kind of preservatives those T-Rats had. But all I know that all the ants, you know, ants will eat anything. All the ants that were trying to eat that didn't take a single piece back to the ant hill because they were all dead. Well, thank you, brother Gilbert. I'm just here, you know. Uh, I was telling everybody here how what's been happening to me on Facebook is people have been targeting me for a while. I used to have a group called Positive Spiritualists, in which people targeted me. They banned my regular profile, and then I wasn't able to advance with my old spiritual and cryptid encounter. So I rebuilt that. As I rebuilt it, they came at me again in a negative way, in which that group wasn't able to grow. So I created Spiritual and Cryptid Encounters. I had 2,000 and something members, and boom, they hit me up like a couple of days ago. Like they trying to keep my group from growing. You know, by what they would do was flagging all my posts and reporting my posts, so I wouldn't be able to grow. My groups, so my group would stop growing. So last night I was a little bit upset, but I wasn't too upset because I was still able to post on my regular post and on my groups that I'm of, which is Spiritual and Cryptid Encounters, and I was able to still place on here on YouTube. You know, but the only thing that I wasn't able to do was make lives. So you know, I prayed and I got on here and I pushed the button. I was like, hey, he's saying that I can go live, and I said, let me try it out. So this literally is my first live right here here on YouTube, you know, and it's like normally I know it's supposed to be like 1,000 members. I don't know. There's something wrong with my spiritual encounters where my numbers are not reading right. That I might have 1,000 members because I'm here doing a live right now. So I'm just blessed that I'm able to do this live because, man, the Heavenly Father never lets me down because I keep my faith and believe in Him. I give credit to those people that serve in the government, in the United States Army or any branch. I I say thank you. Thank you for serving the government and being who you were then. At the same time as we serve the government, we have to transition over into the civilian world. Like my brothers here, they have pretty good jobs, and I applaud you. Me, injuries, flew out of the tank, hit my head, in which it gave me epilepsy and other things wrong with me physically that I wasn't able to do the things that my brother in arms here are doing. So what I do, as I'm a disabled vet, I'm able to do these lives, and I said, what can I do to make me stay active? I like to work out, so I do more workouts. Makes me feel good. I like getting haircuts. Right now I'm letting my top of my hair grow uh, because haircuts make you feel better. But at the same time, I like helping out people spiritually because I've done it all my life, and that makes me feel good. And y'all know, brother Mike Martinez and Gilbert Saragosa, you know that when I'm speaking of the truth because I've always been that way. I remember the guy, one of the soldiers, what's his name? We're watching the Dallas Cowboys play the Buffalo Bills for the Super Bowl. And I was just entering there because I didn't have a TV in my room and I wanted to watch the game. And there's one of the soldiers. I wasn't even in the company anymore because I was working for S3. I think his name was Milburn. Uh, he started cussing at me for no reason, and he said he was gonna whoop me. So it's kind of like he wanted to fight me. He stepped outside the door. He said he wanted to fight me. So I was just watching the game, ignoring him. So when I opened the door, I remember he threw a punch at me. As soon as I opened the door to walk out, because it was halftime or something in that nature, or there was a commercial, I remember that he hit me. He hit me, but he didn't do nothing to me, because I was a warrior. I was in a lot of Badingo fights. So when I looked at him, I just told him, you shouldn't have done that. And I think it was only like one or two hits because I'm attending my Love Foundation, and he was taken care of. With one two hits, that's it. I believe I had him on the ground or whatever. So I stopped doing what I was doing, because I didn't want to hurt the guy. We all knew that he had issues, but the issues he had is, I guess, from at home. He had a lack of personal hygiene. Uh, didn't want to be high speed. He didn't want to be a soldier. He never did his laundry. He would do a lot of things like that. But after that happened, I remember the platoon sergeant talked to me about if something happened. I don't know what happened. I think he fell down the steps. So I remember he came to my door knocking, and he said he wanted to apologize to me because I lived in a whole different building. He wanted to apologize to me for doing what he did. And I said, hey, man, don't worry about it. I said, look, I'm just here to help you. So what I did is I said, I'm going to show you how to do laundry. I'm going to show you to do this, do that. I'm going to show you how to press your uniform, spit shine your boots, so you become a high-speed soldier and nobody mess with you no more. And that's exactly what he did. If y'all remember, Brother Gilbert Saragosa and Mike, he fixed his little walker. He started pressing his BDUs, spit shining his boots, because I helped him. I helped him do this. I don't know whatever happened to him because I wasn't with Bravo Company anymore. But I helped out a lot of people. I remember I was already an NCO, and there was this guy that descended from one of the companies because he had gotten a lot of Article 15s. He had a stack of Article 15s. And they wanted me to chapter him out of the military. And I said, well, let me talk to him. I talked to him. I said, what seems to be the problem? Oh, they don't give me a chance, and they're pulling me back, and they just keep on writing me out, giving me back council statements. So I grabbed all the council statements, and I just threw them in the trash, and I'm going to give you a chance. I know the sergeant major, I mean, the first sergeant had gotten mad with me because they wanted me to chapter him out of the military. I threw all in the trash, and I gave him a chance. And, I talked to him. Look, right now, everybody's targeting you because you're in trouble. And I showed him the same. Keep your videos press, spit shine your boots, be information in time, do this and do this. And by the time you know it, somebody else is going to mess up, and the focus is going to be on them. And that's exactly what happened. So this guy, he became the first sergeant's driver, and first sergeant liked him. And like, you know what, Sergeant CS, you did the right decision. This guy is a good soldier. So he made it from having no rank because he had gotten a lot of Guard 15s. He made it all the way to corporal. If he would have stayed in, he would have become a sergeant. But he just wanted to do his time, and he left with an honorable discharge out of the military. His name was Corporal McCullough. But when I knew him, he was a E nothing McCullough. And I helped out this brother almost make it to NCO by because I have a good heart. I've always had a good heart where I like helping people out. And in the military, it's all about the mission. They expect people to be 100% combat ready. That's why they get rid of a lot of people that get into trouble or they're not being part of the team. They want to replace them with a good soldier because they want the company or the platoon, the brigade to be 100% combat ready, whether it's personnel wise or it's military wise. They need everybody to be ready to go. That's why they do what they do. Thank you, Brother Gilbert Saragosa. Yeah, I get it from a friend of mine that is a Vietnam vet. He sells caps. I got all kinds of caps here right now. But that's where I get it from him. He gets me at a good deal. Maybe one day if you ever go towards Belton, I get it from Belton. He's got a booth in the flea market, and he sells caps. He sells little things you can put on your tank, that calf or little flags. I think I got a little tank here. Like the tanks used to be green at one point in time. When I joined, they were green. They had the camouflage, the green and brown. But then when they had Operation Storm, they color them all desert color, right? But I think I have a picture of me where I have the tank with that color, with the camouflage color. I know Brother Mike Martinez Gilbert said you might have a picture of me holding a weapon or something. I don't know. I lost a lot of things. As you move around from companies and stuff like that, sometimes we lose the pictures. At one time, we didn't have no way to take pictures. I mean, yeah, the pictures like Polaroid cameras and stuff like that, but technology is so much advanced now, But yes, look, for all the people that support me, that have been supporting me, for the new members, you're welcome. To man, I want to talk about stories with my brother in arms because they have experiences for San Antonio. Maybe one day that y'all have time, hit me up. We'll go live. We'll set a date that you're off, and we'll go live here in Spiritually Cryptid Encounters. If you want to share a story, or you want to share what you've been through in your life, or you want to share a story of what you might have experienced, whether it's spiritual, whether it's cryptid, whatever the case it is, you're more than welcome to let me know. We can go live here in Spiritually Cryptid Encounters. On YouTube. God bless me with this today. It's like I'm just feel my faith is even stronger now. And my faith was already strong because when people try to put roadblocks from doing your works, the Heavenly Father is going to find a way for you to overcome those obstacles. You know, it happened to me all throughout my life. And even operations in a storm, we overcame that obstacle. And here we are in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, uh, doing this live. Let me see if I can remember a story that there's a true story right here. It happened to me and Brother Gilbert Zaragoza. We had gone to San Antonio. This is a true story. We had gone to San Antonio. By the time we were getting to San Antonio, Brother Gilbert, you know, we're not perfect, right? Brother Gilbert would be drinking that Mad Dog 2020. So by the time we get to San Antonio, Gilbert is already feeling good, you know, because our plan is to get to San Antonio on Friday. We get there, he gets dressed, and we go out to this club. What's called something different. Well, this day we were at the club, and I believe when we got home, his mom's friend was there, and she said that he wanted to go to a party, that it was his son's birthday party. So he said, "Yeah, sure, let's go." So we went over there, and Brother Gilbert had been drinking, and he had to use the restroom, but there was so many people there. So he seen there was a shed, outdoor shed in the backyard. So we want to go handle business out there by the shed. As we're standing, as he's there handling business, I'm there. I just feel something on my head, like something gets placed on my head here, like this. When I look, I see something silver, and I hear the birthday boy say, "Are you cool?" And I said, "Sure, I'm cool." Right? And then he does the same thing to Brother Gilbert Zaragoza. And he said, "Are you cool?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm fucking cool." That's what he, excuse my language, that's what he said. You know, he was feeling good. I was sober because I wouldn't drink on the driveway with us. I was sober. So we're there, and then he says, "You need to leave my party. You wasn't invited." And we said, "Well, your mom invited us." And he's like, "F my mom." So you're not invited here. I don't know what part of San Antonio it was because I wasn't familiar with San Antonio. So I said, "Okay, we'll leave." So we go and get in the vehicle, and we're driving away from the party. We're driving away. This guys decided to get in the car and start shooting at the vehicle we're in. They start shooting at us, you know. And Gilbert is feeling good. They didn't even know all the activity that's happening. So we finally make it to his house. Uh, but that's one of the experiences that I experienced with Brother Gilbert Zaragoza in San Antonio, Texas. I'm thinking it was the south. I don't know, the south side. I don't think it was the south side. It was somewhere near. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know about San Antonio too much, but that's something that we experienced. You know, that's like a. I could have reacted a whole different way towards this guy because I was sober. Like I said, we're highly trained. I could have easily taken the gun out of his hand and did what I had to do, but I chose not to. You know, I felt. I mean, because my brother Gilbert was feeling good that if I did something like that, he wasn't going to be able to fight or defend himself. So I had to play it a different way. But those are the lessons in life that we go through that makes us who we are right now. Oh yeah, I remember everything, brother. If y'all remember me, brother Gilbert Zaragoza and brother Mike Martinez, I never really drank too much. No, I had already done my partying in Germany. So when I would drink a little bit. I wouldn't drink too much. I'll drink me a couple of beers, you know, because I had to. I could. I wouldn't drink to get too drunk. When I would drink, it's just to loosen up, to feel good, so I can go dancing. Because I love dancing, ballroom dancing. It's called Tejano dancing in Texas. So that's what I will go there to something different. I'll go there, brother and sisters, and there'll be a line of female just wanting to dance. You had all the cowboys up on the second floor with their Stetsons. I ain't had no Stetson, but I'll be dancing with all the females, and I was having fun. Good exercise, good cardio. Uh, oh yeah, I've witnessed so many things in Germany. When I was stationed in Germany, Man, I'll tell you like this. Uh, there's certain things that I can't even speak about. I mean, I can probably speak about, but uh, there's certain things when you're going through something and the enemy comes at you physically, physically, you got to do what you got to do. And if their mindset is to take you out, to completely erase you from the face of the earth, then not just spiritually, but physically, if I wanted to continue to do my spiritual works, I had to protect the vessel. So I had to do things in order for me to still be alive right now, right? Sometimes those are the obstacles that we face, that we go through. I know I would say a lot of stories, and sometimes it's young because they're younger than me, Brother Gilbert and Brother Mike. They wouldn't understand the stories that I were coming from. I would just share them. I'm a type of person that I go through something, I'm going to share it with somebody, And sometimes when you share a story, some people are not going to understand what you're talking about because they've never been through it. You hear it all the times where people say, "Well, show me proof." Oh, I wasn't there. Show me this, show me that. I'm like, I don't leave me in the show me state. I'm just here sharing my stories. I'm not reading off a piece of paper. I'm just sharing you my wisdom and knowledge of what I've been through my experiences. That makes me, I would say, unique. That I thank God that I'm able to remember what we've been through, what I've been through in my life. I'll give you a story right here, just from the top of my head. Me, Brother Gilbert Zaragoza, Jonathan Vigil, Richard Franklin, uh, Sergeant First Class King. We used to play basketball. When I come back from Germany, they would take me out there because I was having problems. When I came back from Operation Desert Storm, I noticed that I couldn't breathe right because we got hit by a blood agent and anthrax out there. And I noticed on the runs that I couldn't run right no more. And something was wrong with me. So I remember going playing basketball with them where I'll be playing basketball. Next thing you know, I'm laid out on the ground because I ran out of air and I can't breathe right. So I'm out there laid out on the ground trying to get better. So it's kind of like, even then, I was facing the things that I was going through, uh, where I wasn't able to do things that other people would do because my health was failing me because of where I had been, you know. Uh, but we used to go play basketball on the courts Friday, Saturday. Sometimes we'd go to the gym and we run the courts. We were that good, but my health started deteriorating where I couldn't breathe right. I couldn't run right because of the chemicals I got hit with. But we used to have fun playing basketball all the time. We used to go to the gym, to Abrams Gym. We used to go to the bowling alley, buy those tuna sandwiches that they sold there. No, I got a good memory. I remember we used to, they like ordering pizza pros all the time. There was a pizza place on Fort Hood. I don't think that exists anymore, but Pizza Pros, we had a lot of good deals on pizza. So we had pizza parties in the billets. But anyways, yeah, it's like yesterday I worked in my living room because I had a lot of boxes that has minerals. As y'all can see, I keep minerals for extra protections. I have a black tourmaline, I got selenites. I carry things in my pocket. Got a little mineral here, little mineral here. I got a little amethyst, and I got all kinds of minerals for protection around my household. Like all over, in my living room, my bedroom. I've been collecting, so I collected a lot over a couple of years, and I was thinking that maybe that either I can start selling some minerals or bless some people with some minerals, because anything that's here materialistic, I can't take with me, when I cross over. But, I'm thinking about doing a lot of good things. In due time, I will know what to do. But yes, that's what I spent all day yesterday. Just rearranging my living room, opening up boxes. My stepson was helping me and setting it up on the cabinets and all kinds of things. He spent like all afternoon till like around 8 or 9 in the night at evening doing this, And there's still like 2 or 3 more boxes that we have to go through that I'm just taking a break. Uh, but yes, what happened to me when I started collecting minerals, brother and sisters, is I know Brother Gilbert or Brother Mike, you'll remember Shark Ridge Falls in Belton. It's a natural rock trail. And there was this ridge up there where the picnic tables are, where you have to cross a bridge. And there was a ridge up there where I had seen an amethyst, and I wanted to go tap the amethyst out of the ridge. So I went all the way up there looking for the amethyst, and it's a long steep down it's a crazy incline. And I'm looking down, and my wife now and my stepson, they're down there looking at me, and they look real small because that's how far it is. So as I'm looking for this amethyst, I cannot find the amethyst. So I look down and I wave at them. As I wave at them, I feel a shove from the back, and there's nothing behind me. The only thing that's behind me is the ridge, which is just the how should I say, the stone of the ridge. Something shoves me from the back, and it's kind of like it felt like an unclean spirit try to go through me. And when I came to, I'm already going downwards, and I'm trying to grab all the trees that are passing me up to stop me from keep on going down, right, from falling. So I start feeling my ankle twist. I started feeling my knee twist. So the only thing I could do was just drop my body. So I was on blood thinners. So I could have died because if I would have had a blow to the head or whatever, I would have bled out. So my body's bouncing everywhere. You know, I'm dodging boulders using my forearm, using my thighs, using my shoulders from stopping those boulders hitting my head. I remember falling, hitting all this stuff, and then I just stopped from falling. And I couldn't get up. My stepson came and got me, and we had to walk like I think another mile, a mile and a half before I got back to the vehicle. So for about 4 months, I was in crutches. I had no broken bones, but my body was beat up. I had bruises all over from head to toe. I mean, beat up. I was weighing at the time like 279 pounds. So I guess that extra fat that I had on my body helped me from getting seriously injured. But it could have been that bad. I just thank God that his angels were protecting me from getting seriously injured. I healed from that, and when I healed from that, I felt different. I felt a connection. I was already having a connection with some minerals, but after that, it's where I just started really having a big connection with minerals. Even though I know that Jesus Christ is the way, I just had a connection with minerals. I believe there was certain priests back in the day that they would wear minerals within their clothes for protection. So, that's what I do. I wear certain minerals on me to protect me from negative energies or unclean spirits. Black tourmaline, black obsidian is good. Rose quartz is good. Amethyst is good. Selenite is good. Selenite is the foundation. Selenite can bring your guardian angels to you, and it can bring angels to you. If you keep those in your windowsills in your home, it'll protect your home from any unclean spirits entering your home. So I got selenite on my windows uh, to protect my house. Also, you can energize your minerals with selenite, where you can put it in the sun, and you can put your minerals on it. It'll energize your minerals, the energy within the minerals. But that's what I've been doing. I'm a collector. I have all kinds of displays, this and that. Even though I know that when my time comes here on Earth is over, I can't take nothing like that with me. But I could tell my son. I said, "Look," I said, "what we can do, if I start selling, I'll sell some minerals, and something will ever happen to me. Make sure when you sell them at a very good price. Don't sell nothing cheap because they're worth a lot of money." That's what I tell them. Um, but most likely, everything that I have is going to go to him. But since I'm fighting spiritually, right, trying to get this positive messages out to the viewers, I have to keep my home protected. Uh, Trust me. Oh yeah, brother Gilbert. I have a lot of minerals for protection. All right, brother Gilbert. Oh, the trail there. There, brother. This, when people talk about Bigfoots that they go into trees, what they're witnessing is this. Is other two. This is this demonic forces that they've taught shamans or certain natives necromancy, witchcraft, in which they made deals with them. So when they made these deals with them, whenever they passed away, they have the ability to shapeshift. We hear about skinwalkers and shapeshifters. That's why when you see them going from tree to tree in disembodied form, which means shadow form, they're going into tree to tree, is because uh, they have the ability to possess anything that's living, whether it's a tree, whether it's an animal, whether it's a human at the target. They have those abilities because of the witchcraft enormity that they were dabbling in. There's a lot of that. When people talk about native burial grounds, where it's say cursed land. Well, that's what I witnessed there in Shark Ridge Falls, where something was following me down the trail, and I could see it moving around. It was pretty big. You want to say it looked like a Bigfoot, but to me, what I witnessed was a giant dark shadow going into the trees. We know that out in the field, when I was in the military, we've seen mountain lions, we've seen cougars, we've seen wildcats, and we respected the animals, and we stayed away from them, and they stayed away from us. We didn't enter their territory. Well, the things that I witnessed in Chalkridge Falls and Elms Grove, and when I was in Operation Desert Storm, the two times that I've gone out there to the desert, the things that are in disembodied form and the works that I do, they're not in the flesh. They're in spirit form, in which they can still uh, come at you spiritually if you have a spiritual opening. They can use the openings you might have. Like I'll say it one more time. Like I said before, if you have fear, you have hatred, anger, vengeance, unforgiveness, those are the openings they use to come up against you daily, to try to affect you spiritually daily. That's what they use. To bond you. That's what they use. So if you want to free yourselves from that bondage, all you got to do is ask God for forgiveness. Because when you forgive, you're going to feel a whole different way. You maintain a love foundation. You get spiritually blessed with a spiritual gift of discernment. He's going to spiritually bless you to be able to see things a whole different way, that is going to help you and guide you through any trials and tribulations that come your way. Yes, I have spheres, towers, raw specimens. I have all kinds of minerals. My phone is ringing right now. Let me stop this. Decline it. I have all kinds of raw minerals. When you look at my pictures, the short reels I place here on spiritual and cryptid encounters, whether it be here on YouTube or if you want to follow me in my group on Facebook, I'll add you. If you and I have short reel TikToks under Ape CS on TikTok where it shows this disembodied forms or spirits that I'm talking about or unclean spirits. Same ones that I witnessed when I was stationed in Fort Hood. Same ones that I've witnessed all my life, and I'm able to capture them uh, on video where I'm doing spiritual lives out in the open. You know, just like I'm doing here, I go out in the open, and when I'm doing the spiritual lives in the open, they surface up. So I'm really thinking, brothers and sisters, doing some spiritual lives through YouTube out of the open to see what we capture. Uh, that's what I'm thinking of doing spiritual, just like I would do in my group Spiritual and Cryptid Encounters. I'm going to do a couple of those lives when I feel better and I get spiritually stronger. When I do decide to go to an area, do it live through YouTube in these locations. Uh, if anybody could do me the favor, send my channel to your friends so people can subscribe. That's awesome. You know, I believe I just thank Jesus Christ that He has given me the opportunity to have this platform now. That hopefully that the people are going to like the stories that true encounters of what people have experienced and guests that I'm going to try to bring on to share what they've been through in their lives. Yes. Well, I know Brother Gilbert here. He sees a lot of things where he works. I'm not going to say where he works. The only thing that I can tell you is he works with a lot of people that are having serious issues. And where he works, I'm more than sure because that he's witnessed this shadow figures that I talk about. He's witnessed the change of the people within him where there could be normal to not normal, where these unseen forces go to them to try to keep them bonded. I'm more than sure that where he works, that he's witnessed this, but he's chosen this path. He's doing spiritual works in a different way because in the place that he works, he sees a lot of people going through a lot of things. Um, it's up to him. Maybe one day I'll have him on so he can explain, but maybe his job doesn't allow for him to explain a certain way because so I respect that. But I'm more than sure somewhere the time that he's been working in these facilities that he's witnessed things that he keeps to himself because he's not allowed to say anything to anybody because they might look at him in a different way. So I know that he's spiritually blessed, uh, that he's witnessed things. But like I said, because of the job security, he's not allowed to say certain things. Thank you, Sister Debbie Cawthorne. I really appreciate you subscribing. If you want to send some friends to subscribe, that would be awesome too. I mean, I have a lot of wisdom and knowledge. You know, for a while now, the only thing I had been doing was doing videos on my group, downloading the videos and sharing them on YouTube. But now I have this platform of YouTube, in which is not just a group; it's to get to a broader audience. And I'm going to continue to do this to see how it goes, and it's only going to grow bigger, I believe, 100%. Like I said, for a week now on my group, I wasn't allowed to share to groups. What's the importance of me not being able to share to groups would be that when I download a video here on YouTube and I wasn't able to share to groups, the members wasn't able to watch the videos to give me a like or anything like that, right? In which my videos here on YouTube wasn't being watched. But now, because there's a higher power behind this, I'm able to do videos here on YouTube in which I don't need to download the videos. I don't have to I don't have to do the videos of my group anymore. What I can do is do the videos here and transfer my video to YouTube. I mean my video to Facebook. And that's a blessing to me. That that solved the issue I was having with Facebook. They kept on not sharing my group information. Whatever happens to my Facebook, I could always rebuild. But now I have this platform of YouTube. I just had to figure everything else out. This is me speaking and talking about the things that I speak about is nothing new. But me being on this platform is new in this manner. So I would have to figure out everything else, how to make it grow even bigger. But I'm here for anybody that is going through something spiritually, that's been having any something spiritually that is stopping them from moving forward in life. I'm here to assist you. This is an olive branch for anybody going through something spiritually. I'm here to assist you spiritually because this is what I do. I don't want nobody suffering in any kind of way, shape, or form, whether it be spiritually, whether it be physically. I'm here to assist y'all to the best of my spiritual knowledge and abilities to help you out to come out in a better situation uh, through my spiritual guidance and of spiritual gift of discernment. This is what I'm here for. This is why I created this group. When I initially created Positive Spiritualist, but it's spiritual. When I initially created, it was called Positive Spirit. At that time, when I created it, this Positive Spiritual is still there, but it's not the original Positive Spiritual because Facebook banned it for some reason. Not Facebook. Yeah, they banned it for some reason. They don't want nobody to know about the unseen spiritual war. They don't want nobody to know about Maintaining Love Foundation. So they apparently deleted my account, in which it deleted the group. So I had to recreate that. Recreated it. People came up against me, and it stopped growing. So I created Spiritually Cryptid Encounters, and I was running to the same thing. But now I have this platform, then I'm able to start sharing. How should I say? Making my videos live. Maybe place ahead of time. I'm one of those kind of people, and this is what I learned from the military. A go with a go. Sometimes when you plan something out, it doesn't work that way. So I just go, just like today. I just make this video a scene. I got all happy, and I'm sharing this video. So I go with a go. But I'm going to try to get better of sharing. Putting it out there when I'm going to go live. I got to figure all these things out first. And if anybody is an expertise of doing these things here on YouTube, you're more than welcome to contact me and let me know what I have to do. And I really would appreciate, somebody would show me what do I need to do. I know that sometimes when you make videos, we have trolls that people are going to dislike what you're going to say and they're going to troll you, but hopefully that since we're talking about a love foundation, about good, about getting rid of unclean spirits and freeing yourself from that hopefully the people that come in this group are that want change in their life. And that's what I'm expecting for good, for people that want change in their life. Good people, I believe sharing is caring. If we can unite together as one, whether it doesn't matter what community you're in, whether you're cryptid, whether you're spiritual, whether you're paranormal, UFO, whatever, if we can unite as one and put out a good product uh, through a love foundation, unite as one for the better good to fight the unseen spiritual war. Because this unseen spiritual war is in all fields, even just living life. It's here. It's amongst us. It's to expose that, but not just to expose it, but to be able to overcome it. And that's why I tell y'all, I'm telling you right now, always maintain your love foundation. That's the key. I'm going to share one more story before I go about how important it is to maintain the love foundation. In Elms Grove, there was a young boy, a Puerto Rican boy. He was 16, turned 17. He would come to my house because we had a basketball court. Uh, and he would come play basketball with my nephews that were younger than him, but he would always come play basketball with them. So he was getting involved with the wrong crowd, in which he started messing with, I guess, with drugs and stuff like that. And I would tell him, that he needs to get away from that. That's not good. But, he was doing his own thing. So what happened with this individual was that supposedly he was at a party and somebody stole whatever merchandise they had or what they were selling. Somebody stole that and the money. So the people that was giving the suppliers, they were from, I believe, Austin or Austin. They came looking for him. He didn't have the money or nothing to show him. So they told him that they were going to give him 1 week to come up with the money, or else they were going to come after his family, which was his mother was in the military and his younger brother was still in elementary. And I asked him, so can you give me the names of these people so I can talk to them? Maybe I can work something with them to give you more time or help you out. He said, no, this is something I have to handle. It's between me and them. I said, so I left it alone, like a week, 2 weeks passed by. Next thing you know, I'm seeing him driving a black truck. So I guess he got in some money to buy a truck, So he's driving the truck around in the mobile home park where I live. One day I was at the pool with my son. My son was like 5 years old. He was swimming in the water. And where the pool is, we have a fence and a gate. And I heard the gate open, and it was him and two other guys that were with him, an African American and a white person with him. They come and they stand right in front of me, and I say, "Hey, how you doing, guys?" Like I said, I know them. They're just looking at me, and they got this look in their face. They're all looking at me, and the Puerto Rican guy that I would help and give him advice. He tells me, I can kill you right now. There's nothing that anybody can do. Right. So he's right in front of me and I'm looking at him. At that time, I'm already out of the military, but I still have my military instincts. There's three numbers, like three are against me. So, but I'm trained for the military and I'm able, I had a choice, react to the threat or handle it a different way. So what I did is this. I used my love foundation. I said, hey, man, why would you say that to me? I'm your friend. I'm trying to help you out. Then he tells me again that he could kill me right there, right now. There's nothing I can do about it. I said, look, man, I know your brother. I know your mom. Why would you say this to me? Then he looks at the guys and says, you know what, let's get out of here. And they left. But I did not use anger or hatred in any kind of way, shape, or form against them. So they left, right? 2 days later, they bust this guy, 17-year-old Puerto Rican. He was driving, the black truck he was driving belonged to a couple that they had murdered and burnt. He had killed 2 strippers and buried them out in the open field. So when he was telling me that he could kill me, there's nothing that anybody can do about it. He already killed 4 people. The guys that were with him, supposedly they were in fear that he might do something to them, but that's not what I witnessed. What I witnessed was they were all together. So basically, the moral of that story is, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna take my love foundation instead of going to anger or trying to fight any kind of way. My take my love foundation. I was able to overcome the unclean spirit that was within this individual that had already murdered 4 people because it was being used as a vessel. When I maintained my love foundation, the spirit or unclean spirit that was with him couldn't do nothing. So he had no choice but to leave because I had my love foundation deflecting any negativity. So it's very important to remember. At that time, I didn't say certain things. I could have said, I tie, bind, and rebuke you in Jesus Christ's name. And immediately, I'm more than sure that this unseen forces would have left. But they had authority over him because of the acts that he did. This happened in Elms Grove. I believe they gave this young boy, who was 17, young adults, they gave him like 60, I don't know how many, 60 something years, 70 years, life in prison. So the unseen spiritual warfare is very real, brothers and sisters. I just want you to know that we have to be spiritual ready at all times because we don't know when we're going to be spiritually tested. Yes. You know, I've seen a lot of people within the groups and a lot of things that happen throughout the years. Sometimes, it's about true colors, what's really within a person's heart. To me, I try to look at the goodness of everybody's heart. I always try to find a way into a person because sometimes we don't know what somebody's going through. For example, if somebody's having a bad day because they're being trolled by somebody or they're being targeted, they might come at you in a different way. Don't look at that because you don't know what they're going through. In that sensible way, when somebody makes a video and they're talking about what they're believing in it because of what they experienced, what they witnessed, what they've gone through in life, just because you haven't seen it, you haven't been through it, don't mean it gives you the right to come at them in a negative way or to troll those individuals because they're speaking their truth. Because I've seen it within the cryptid community, paranormal community, spiritual community, where this same individuals they're not buying somebody's real truth. They want to go and buy somebody's lies, fake stories that are not real, and you can tell they're not real because when individuals have to read something, right? That imagine a person that's saying their experience, they're sharing their experience to you, the audience. When they have to look into a piece of paper and it's a person that went through the experience, and so wait, let me look at my notes. That they went through the experience, it's going to be an automatic thing. You don't have to look into no notes to share your experience and your stories. And I see a lot of that happening. I'm gonna have to finish up. I got like 5% battery power. Uh, love, light, and blessings to every single one of y'all. Thank you for tuning in here on my first video on spiritual and cryptid encounters. Uh, I want to say a final prayer. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for allowing me to have this platform to be able to talk to new members, to be able to help people spiritually. Uh, Thank you, Heavenly Father. I will continue to believe in you 100%. Thank you for everything that you've done for me. I want to pray for all my brothers and sisters that are sick, those that are being spiritually bonded. We tie, bind, and rebuke any negative, unclean energies from everybody. We place spiritual heavenly crosses on your doorways, on your windows, from head to toe. We take authority over the unclean spirits. We take authority. We tie, bind, and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Everybody have a beautiful, blessed day. Peace. Not to figure out how to shut it off. This is something way different. Okay, how do I stop this, guys? Anybody give me a clue? I'm live. Okay.